have to say is important. I got started in this work with Moms Demand Action because of stories in Savannah like houses getting shot up and 2-year-old toddlers dying, which I think is unconscionable. 6th graders dying, just horrible stories of violence. And there's so many different forms that gun violence can take. And that led me to want to run for office. And that's what I've done. I serve as a member of the Georgia House Democratic Caucus. We have worked so incredibly hard to try to get the majority party to pay attention to this. And I love it. I wish I were still a mom's volunteer in many ways, but one of the great things is I get to be partisan now because they are a nonpartisan group, of course, but I'm a Democrat serving in the House, and I can just tell you, sort of backing it up to my volunteer days, I met Michelle Haberland when she was testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee because the Georgia General Assembly wanted to put guns on Georgia's college campuses. No one wanted that. Parents didn't want it. The Board of Regents didn't want it. No one wanted it. It passed anyway. I was there in 2014. The General Assembly decided that people really needed to be able to have their guns with them when they were drinking in bars and restaurants. Because that's a good idea, right? Talking about common sense, it passed anyway. In 2021, the then Speaker of the House, David Ralston, said, I come from one of the reddest parts of Georgia, and nobody in my district wants permitless carry. Everybody thinks the weapons carry permitting system we have in Georgia is a good thing and a minimal safety requirement that you should have to go through before you go out in public armed. It passed anyway. So I want to dispel what some people believe, which is that nobody's doing anything up there. They're doing things. It's going the other way. It is making us less safe. And the thing that we have to do today that I hope I can leave with y'all is we have got to close the enthusiasm gap on this issue. The people who care about guns and really vote this issue every time are the people who think they belong in every place, in every set of hands, with no questions asked. And it is killing us. It is killing our children. In the last couple of years, firearms became the leading cause of death for Georgia's children and teens. The typical American child gets in a car a bunch of times every day. But at this point in the U.S. and in the state of Georgia, a child in Georgia is more likely to die because of a firearm than because of a car accident or because of any of the other kinds of accidents that have historically been the reason for child and teen death. So what are Georgia House Democrats doing about this? And also Senate Democrats. But I'll talk about what our efforts have been. Last year, we dropped a bill to close background check loopholes so that, as my colleague Commissioner Whiteley said, we make sure every gun sale has a background check. It went nowhere. It didn't even get a hearing in committee. We dropped red flag laws so that people who are troubled, whether they're teenagers, whether they're adults, if they're a danger to themselves or others, they can have, after due process, they can have their guns temporarily taken away. There are registries in some states where you can put yourself on that list. You can recognize that you're experiencing mental health challenges and you know you might be a danger. That's a non-starter in Georgia. The thing that we did last session that we really, really hoped was going to get some traction was a safe storage law. So this means for firearm owners who have children in their home, they have to keep them safely stored so that they cannot be accessed by children. For this to happen this week, and for a 14-year-old to have accessed a firearm, was devastating for those of us who worked on that bill this past session. We were given a very performative subcommittee hearing in 2023, and then it sat, and it collected dust, and it's gone nowhere. And so there are so many things we could do in Georgia. We are starting from the bottom, y'all. I mean, we're like 46 out of 50 states for gun law strength, and there's a direct correlation between the strength of your laws and the firearm deaths of your population. We have nowhere to go but up. The thing that we will be pushing next session is my colleague, Rep. Michelle Alb, who's a medical doctor, believes in a public health approach to gun violence prevention, will be reintroducing the pediatric health Safe Storage Act. It will get a new number, but this same bill, we are not going to stop till this passes because Georgia's children are worth it. And they deserve it. And school should be a place of sanctuary and safety. So this is coming back. And what we are hoping you will do, and you'll hear a little bit more from Lori McNeil, we want to flood Speaker Burns' office with calls and emails saying, commit this bill to the Public Health Committee, which is where it belongs because this is a public health crisis. Give it a hearing. This bill deserves a hearing. If you aren't, are you afraid of it? Are you afraid to see what the public will say? It deserves a debate. It deserves a vote. It deserves to pass. And we're asking everybody to reach out to Speaker Burns and ask for that.